ready to go. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Hopefully we are live. We're having some fun and games. We've got 6 of us. We should have Kerry here. Unfortunately, she's having some connection issues at the moment, but hopefully she'll join us if she can get it working. But what's tonight about? Well, it's all about our favourite Bond songs. It's a question that I get asked all the time. What are the best Bond songs to play? And there's a few things that I've got to just really stress straight away up front in terms of how this list came about. We've got a few select faces here, and it's a nice blend actually, because we've got some guys from the rhythm section. We should have had the vocalist, but hopefully she'll be here in a minute. And we've got some brass. And every single person's list was vastly different in terms of what they enjoy playing the most in the show, because everyone had a different criteria. You know, some people aren't involved in particular pieces where they are more so in others. So it's not really going to reflect iconic Bond songs necessarily, or songs that you may feel are the favourite ones to listen to. And I think that's really important, that songs are going to come out very differently in terms of what we enjoy listening to, what we enjoy playing. So I just really want to stress that, because there are going to be, including me, there are going to be some Bond fans that are scratching their heads with where some of these come out on the list. So it was made from 20 of our regular musicians and taking an average position of where songs came out. Bear in mind that the instruments are going to play a part. You know, for example, something like We Have All the Time in the World has got no brass in it apart from the flugel solo. So, you know, they're not going to really get a real kick out of playing something like that. I've probably given away where that one might be coming. We had 11 different songs placed in first place, and we had 15 different songs placed in the bottom 2. So the list were hugely diverse, with every song except Die Another Day appearing at either end of the list. So just bear that in mind as we go. And without further ado, I'm going to reveal the song in last place, and I'm going to say it's no great big surprise to say Die Another Day came stone last in terms of enjoying and playing it. And to be fair, we haven't played this song for a very long time, have we, Jez?
No, it's been years, hasn't it? I think.
Yeah,
not enough, but
I don't think we've played it for about 5 years, but you guys all bullied me into dropping it completely, even though it didn't help with my OCD that we used to do all the title songs, and this is the only one that we don't do. And I'm not really sorry, to be honest, to see it go, because it's given us space to do some other great songs. Now, one thing to say quickly before we do get into the next ones is that 29 songs doesn't really make much sense, because there's only 25 films if you include No Time to Die. And we did include a couple of extra ones. I decided to include in the poll Dirty Love, because it's one that we all really, really love playing, and it's something I knew would be something that would come out quite well. And also ones that we've played pretty much all the way from the start on every single show we've ever done, like Bond 77, We Have All the Time in the World, and Surrender. Surrender's a song that we always do on our theatre shows. So that makes up the 29 that we're going to reveal. So what's next then? Let's reveal what came second last. And it is All Time High. As the person who came out with this highest, Westy, you actually had it up in 10th. Do tell us why
I just really like it as a song. There's a really nice trombone line in it. It's just nice to play, to be honest. Nothing more kind of specific than that. I just enjoy playing it. It's good.
I actually had this really low down on my list. It was 28th for me, and I have to say, like, I actually don't mind the song at all to play it. I really enjoy it when we do it. But in terms of where it just comes in compared to everything else, it's just one that I can take or leave it on the shows if I have to make a choice based on, you know, versus other songs in the list. It's not a song that I dislike. It's just it's not as good as to play live as a lot of the other ones that we're going to come to. So we're going to rattle through these first few and spend a bit more time as we get further up the list. Now, the next one's going to be slightly controversial, and I was really surprised this one came out so low, especially considering we quite enjoy playing it. But I think people watching won't be so surprised to find out that in 27th place was the new song, A No Time to Die. Now, Westy, again, you had this one up really high. You had this in 9th. You're obviously a fan.
I do quite like it, yeah. A bit like the last one, really. It's just, yeah, I quite enjoy playing this. It's yeah, it's nothing kind of really specific that I can say it's that. There was a few kind of surprising ones in my list, I think.
Yes, I think we could definitely establish that as we work our way through this. Steve, I'll bring you in. You had it down in 27th. You're obviously not a fan.
No, not really a fan at all. Mostly musically speaking, there's very little happens on the bass for this one. It's just long notes all the way through, very low notes. In fact, if you listen to the original, there's one that goes way outside the range of a normal bass, and it even goes outside the range of my bass, which is a low-strung bass anyway. So, there's very little happens in this one for a bass player. Yeah.
Well, we're going to rattle through and say the first few. This one was also a bit of a surprise and will upset some of the Bond fans, I think, to see this one coming so low. But I think really, From Russia With Love coming down so low is really not that it's not a bad song. It's just that from an adrenaline point of view, from an enjoyment point of view, there's not really a lot to sort of get your teeth into, apart from unless you're the male vocalist, really. In terms of positioning, Jez, you had it up pretty high in number 8, so you're obviously a fan of playing it.
I did. I like this one. I think it's Lionel Bart, isn't it? And he just writes such great tunes. And for me, there's a lot of scope in this one to kind of add my own slant on it, if you will. So like I've got, chords, and I've got some little parts written out, but I can kind of I'm a bit more free with it, and I enjoy that on the show. So this is a really nice one to do that, because it's got some nice, interesting chord changes. And also I just love listening to Matt singing it.
Yeah.
While playing it. I get a real good vibe off it.
Yeah. Rob, you only had Die Another Day below this. You had it in 28th. So you obviously don't get much of a kick out of playing this one.
No, not really. For me, it doesn't go anywhere. It's just, I think it's a victim of the period it's from. It's a very nice tune, but I think that's what it is for me. It's a nice tune. It's not unpleasant to play. There's some lovely little flute lines in there, doubling the strings, but other than that, it doesn't go anywhere like the other ones that are further up my list.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at what came up in 25th. And this one was an absolute shocker for me. I'm absolutely devastated to say Thunderball, so low. Who thought it was that? I actually had it I had it one of the highest. I had it in 14th along with Kerry. I love this song. I love playing it, and I definitely really love the original. Even though it's down in 14th for me, it's not that high. But I was really surprised to see this one come low. Oh, let's get the volume. Who had it down low? Steve, you had it down in 21. So between sort of 14th and 21, it kind of slotted quite tight around there for everybody. Yeah. It did come out number 1 for one person. I can't remember who it was, but somebody had it as number 1. So not everybody had it low. Wasn't any of us. What do you think of Thunderball then, Steve?
It's another one really. It's kind of of its time. The trumpets have got like this nice sort of ball busting top line, and you've got the you've got the trombones and all the horns, and meanwhile the rhythm section are just kind of plodding along in the background, really. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a few comments coming in about loving Thunderball and being shocked. We've got to kind of keep coming back to the fact that there's a huge difference between our enjoyment of the song to put it on our MP3s and listen to it, and to actually play it in the shows. And you've got to kind of really keep coming back as we go through this list. There's going to be some surprises, and it really is just based on our enjoyment of actually playing these songs. So with that in mind, the next one is going to be another real shocker for you Bond fans out there, and for me as well. 24th, we have All the Time in the World.
What on earth? Who had it up high? Actually, I had it up in 16th, and Steve, you had it in 18th, but Westy, 28th for you. I suppose, bearing in mind there's no trombone in it, that's going to play a part, isn't it?
Yeah, you kind of said it in the intro, really.
Yeah.
If the trombones aren't in it, it can't be a good song. Yeah, I can't vote high for something that I don't play in. That would be, that would be really stupid.
Yeah. Although I suppose it must be nice to have a bit of a rest as well.
It is not that. Well, yeah, there is that. I'm never disappointed if it's in the program, preferably somewhere in the second half.
Yeah, I think
I've got nothing against the song, but I can't justify putting it higher in my list, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Kerry looks like he's joining us. Let's see if we can hear and see her. Kerry, are you there?
Hi.
Hey.
We working?
Here we are. We're working. Welcome.
Hey. Hi. Hi, boys.
Hello.
Hey, Kerry, all right?
How you all doing? Nice to see your faces.
Good to see you. Right, let's keep going.
What have I missed?
Well, we've revealed the bottom 5 so far. So we had Die Another Day bottom, then All Time High, No Time to Die, From Russia with Love, Thunderball, and we've just revealed We Have All the Time in the World as 24th. So 23rd. Now this one was a surprise for me because I thought we'd have this higher actually as a band. Was Writings on the Wall in 23rd, and actually, Kerry, you had it pretty high up. You had it number 10 for you. You're obviously a fan of this song.
Yeah, I wasn't at the start, but I think we do. Actually.
Say again, sorry.
I said I wasn't a fan of it at the start. Like
Yeah.
I first heard the original version, but I think once we put our cue the music twist on it, I started to like it, and I've continued to like it, and it's it's quite high up, and it's really well received. You know,
Yeah.
and at the meet and greets after the shows, the amount of people that say, "I used to hate that song, but your version is much better than the original." But in my opinion, I think it's a female vocal song anyway. I think it would have sounded much better recorded by a female.
Yeah.
Nothing
Dan?
against Cam Smith, but
Dan, you had it pretty low. 28th for you.
Yeah. I don't play in this song. So that's why. I love it. I love the song. I didn't, just like Kerry, I didn't like the original that much, but I really like our version. So I just get to stand there and listen.
Yeah. I love this song as to play it, and Kerry's performance of it always really really draws out the emotion in me, particularly the point in the show where it comes towards the end. But yeah, I was surprised to see it come out for us. I wouldn't be surprised to see it very low on most Bond fans' lists, but I thought for us it would come out a bit higher. Anyway, that's Writings on the Wall. 22nd then. Now this one, this is where people are going to switch off, I think. The James Bond theme. I can't believe this. I'm gutted that you guys have got it. Let me just get the volume. Gutted that you got this so low. And funnily enough, you know, we're looking, when we talk about the James Bond theme, we're looking for a bit of culture and a little bit of, sensible thinking here. The sentence I never thought I'd follow with the words, Kerry, you had this up in 7th. You had this highest.
Well, yeah, it's
and you're not even in it.
I know. But at this point, I'm still rushing.
Doing your
to get
makeup.
ready.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to put earrings on and jewellery. But as soon as you hear that, it's like, yes, let's go. You know, and that's the start of the show. And it's still like you hear that again, and it's like a rush of adrenaline. And it's like, yeah, let's do it. You know, and it's, it's a great piece of music.
Yeah, I had this up in 11th. I would have loved to have had it higher, because the Bond fan of me thinks it should be in the top couple, really. And I do really enjoy. I do get a real buzz out of playing this, because of the Bond fan in me. But when I compare it to some of the other ones and the reaction that we get from the audience and the feeling we get, it just had to slip a little bit further down. But I mean, for some people, it came. I mean, Dan, you had it in 27th, and you're the star of this one.
Well, that's the exact reason. It's the one where there's the most pressure. So I don't enjoy it that much. It's like, shit, I've got to get it right. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I love it, but the pressure's on for that one.
Yeah, fair enough. It seems absolutely ridiculous to reveal that this next one came above that. But I do actually really personally enjoy playing this, and that's The World Is Not Enough. I know people watching, I've got to remind you again, this is about the buzz that we get out of playing it. It's not about iconic nature of the song. It's not about what's the best song to listen to. It's not even necessarily about what is the best song from a compositional point of view. It's about what we enjoy playing on the shows as a balance between the band. Who had this high then? Westy, you had this in sixth.
Yeah, I had this quite high. I just, it's like the brass parts for this are quite poppy in nature, and I really like playing it. Just these short stab notes. I like playing stuff like that. There's real bite in the sound. It's kind of the first trombone part particularly is quite high in the register, and it's good fun to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do enjoy this one.
Who had this? Kerry, you had this really low 28 for you.
Yeah, it's probably my least favourite song to perform.
Wow. I'm surprised. And Jez, you had it low as well, 28 for you.
Yeah, it's simply because I don't do very much in it. You know, it's just one chord every bar for the whole song. And, I mean...
That's probably the arranger's fault.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's one of the weaker things.
It's one of the what, sorry?
One of the weaker ones for me.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
For me, anyway. But.
Yeah. Well, let's find out what came 20th then. We have got... this one was coming out quite low for a while, and the last couple of people pushed it up, and that's Moonraker. I think it's a lovely piece of music, but again, it's never going to come much higher than this, because from if you're looking for an adrenaline rush, Moonraker's not going to do it for you. Kerry, you actually had this pretty high though, 9th.
Yeah, I really like this song.
Yeah.
I like it vocally.
It's very different to the other stuff you sing.
But I do. Yeah, I like singing it. Yeah.
Dan, 26th. I mean, we can see you on screen there, not doing too much. I guess it's not a busy one for you.
Yeah, no, it's just like Steve said earlier on one of them, with the rhythm section, just kind of going along with this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, just plodding through.
Yeah, I think it tells a really nice story. This little tune.
Yeah, I was saying when you were, I think you probably didn't hear me, but the thing with this one from your point of view is it's very different to the other songs to sing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it
Which
just
is
tells
nice.
a nice little. You get lost in it, and I get lost in it a little bit.
Yeah.
It tells a nice little story.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's go to 19th. This came out, I thought this would come a bit higher. A View to a Kill. Let me get the video playing. Who had it? Westy, you had it in 3rd. You're obviously a big fan of this one.
Was it 3rd? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit. I find this similar to Play as The World Is Not Enough. It's that real kind of pop sounding brass section. That really clicks with me. I enjoy playing that stuff. Again, it's in that kind of high register for the first trombone part. It's just good fun to play.
Yeah, Jez, you had it pretty low, 27th, so you're not such a fan of this one.
I like the song, and I think there's lots of cool stuff going on in there. But it's just another one for me where I don't really play very much in it. So
yeah, you're literally just held chords, aren't you?
I enjoy listening to it while I'm playing it, but as far as actually what I enjoy playing, I can't put it higher up really, just because of that. It's just held chords.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I think it's probably the same for most of us, really. I absolutely love doing this one actually on the shows, but it's I suppose from a performance, it's a little bit one gear all the way through. Let's look at the next one. Now, I'm quite surprised to see this come down so low, but I guess, again, if you're looking for adrenaline, You Only Live Twice is not really going to be the one for you. Rob, you had this really high. You had this in 4th overall.
Now, this is because I don't actually do very much in it. But the bit that I do is that iconic strings line, the bit that Robbie Williams sampled, that bit, and which is just lovely to play. But the rest of the piece, it's quite nice to just sit back and listen, because you're so busy with quite a lot of the other tunes we're doing. It is quite nice to just sit back and listen and think, oh, this sounds quite nice. These guys are quite good. So I always enjoy having a little bit of a sit back.
You've got incredibly long hair in this video, I've just noticed. Obviously not available when we did this one. Who had it down low then? Steve, 23rd for you. Not a fan.
For me, well, not even not a fan. This is my first sort of big pressure moment, because I'm the one that has the keys to the band at this point. I'm the one that's counting them in to the top.
Yeah.
So
true.
So it's sort of a moment of sort of real timing and concentration. So once I've got that out of the way, then I can sort of sit back and enjoy the rest of the song. But it's just that first sort of moment of concentration.
Yeah. Well, let's see what's coming up after this one. Number 17. Now, this is hilarious because this actually appeared both first for one person and second last for another person. So it really did split everybody, and that's The Man with the Golden Gun. There was a couple of songs that came everywhere, literally everywhere on the list. Rob, you had this as your number 1.
Yeah. I really, really enjoy playing this. I think it's purely because it's baritone sax all the way through, really going for it. It's some of my favourite orchestration moment, I think, in the entire show is anything where you've got the bari sax and the bass trombone, particularly when they're playing in unison or in sort of in octaves with each other. It's just a lovely effect. It's just fat. You get the fatness of the bass trombone down low, and the baritone sax adds that bit of edge on the top. It's just lovely. And when he gets into the I just love that bit.
Yeah,
does it for me.
I tell you what, whoever did the orchestration for that, for Cue the Music, obviously was on to a winner with that idea then. Shame he's not on tonight. Who had it down low? Westy. Westy, you had it down in 26th. Not a fan.
So it's funny Rob says about the bari sax and bass trombone. I think if I was playing bass trombone instead of tenor, I'd have this a lot higher. Yeah. On 10 is a lot of unisons. It occasionally splits into octaves, but it's a lot of unisons, and it's a bit like the tongue-in-cheek video of the tanker that we did. It's in a pretty horrible key for a tenor trombone. It's all bottom of the stave, and it's hard. It's very hard work to get a decent sound or try and support the bass trombone. So it's not a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Bass trombone would be a very different number, I think.
So whoever did the orchestration, we're giving them kudos for the bass trombone part, but pelters for the tenor trombone part, eh?
I'm remaining silent.
Let's see what came up next. Number 16, GoldenEye. That's fairly low. Kerry, you had this up really high. Number 5 for you. So you obviously
number 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's I love this song, and it's a really challenging song to sing as well. You know.
Yeah.
You've got that big note at the end, and it's nice to be able to perform a Tina Turner song as well. I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah. Steve, you had it.
Great tune.
Yeah. Steve, you had it pretty low, 26th. Surprised, man.
I'm a little bit surprised it's that low as well. But again, it's one of these ones where it's kind of got one riff and then a few long notes, and not a great deal going on the low end, on the bottom end.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's GoldenEye then. We're getting into the top 15 now. This one, to come out in the top 15, I'm really surprised about from a iconic nature and stuff, but I guess it is fun to play, and that is Tomorrow Never Dies. Rob, you had it at number 2.
Same reason as the last one I was talking about. It's the bari sax thing again. I just really enjoy playing baritone sax. It's got one of those So I don't know. Can you describe it as a melodic baritone sax and bass trombone line through the middle?
Yeah.
I like that because there's two instruments that don't get a lot of melody as such. So when we get a chance to just those longer lines through the second verse, it's just nice. And again, the octaves thing, very satisfying to play.
I echo what you're saying. There's some awesome low brass lines in this, and I always, even when I'm just playing long notes or I've got rest and you guys are playing, I do get hairs on the back of my neck when you guys are doing that. You know, in the verse, they're quite exposed lines as well, aren't they? They're not even hidden. They actually stand out if you're at the shows, and they are really nice to listen to. All of that said, I've actually got this the lowest. I've got this at 26th for me. Out of all of us, I had it down lower. I actually surprised at myself because I do really enjoy playing this, but just compared to other songs, not as much. And I think as well with me, as much as you guys are pretty much all judging it on how much you enjoy playing it, and that's all, for me, the Bond fan does kind of seep in as well. And so, this is not really one that's very well thought of in the scheme of things, and it's not that iconic, and I think that seeps in a little bit to my enjoyment of it compared to other songs. But I do really like playing it, and actually the nice thing about this song as well is it has some variety in tempos and styles and stuff within it, which makes it a bit more interesting and we also have to be a little bit more on our toes with this one than some of the other songs where it's just start at the beginning and it's 4 on the floor all the way through to the end. This one actually takes a little bit of concentration. The next one I thought would come out a lot higher for us because it's a great song to play, and that's The Living Daylights, number 14. I was really surprised. I thought this would come out higher. I mean, Dan, you had it in 5th. You had it up pretty high.
Yeah, I love this song. The guitar part for this is really exciting. That's the criteria for this list, so that's why it's higher for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really high energy song, isn't it?
Yeah, the funky rhythm parts are just wicked.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always. This is one of the ones when we did the earliest theatre shows. This was one of the moments where I didn't get. I got chills, but in a different way to like a License to Kill or a Writings on the Wall. This one was just one that it was in a whole other level of ecstasy in terms of just the energy and the enjoyment of it. Kerry, not so much for you though, because you had it down in 25th. I'm really surprised.
I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, I think I enjoy performing it because it's nice to do a duet with Matt, but I prefer other songs, to be honest, in the show.
No, that's fair enough.
Nothing against it. Nothing massive as to why I don't like it. I just prefer others. But it is nice to be able to do a duet with Matt.
Yeah, it doesn't really push you vocally, this one, does it? That's the thing.
Yeah, it's not. It just... I don't know, I just prefer other songs, really. Yeah. Yeah,
fair enough. The next one up is... This is a non-title theme. And I had this up pretty high, in fact. Surrender. In fact, I had this one in 3rd place overall. I absolutely love playing this song, and I'm surprised that more of you didn't as well. It had quite a split. I mean, some people had it down in 26th. In fact, Jez, you had it in 25th. I'm surprised because I think this is one of the best songs from the series, actually.
I think it's a really good song. It's a great tune, really strong. And it's a great way to finish the show, so in that respect I enjoy it, but
you see you there sitting not doing much
to play. I've got like 14 bars rest, I think, there,
and
then I come in with the da-da-da-da-dum. I mean, it's a good song, but it's just there's others that I prefer playing.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough, and that's the thing with this list is that everyone's got a very different take on what's going to come up their list. So whilst it's 3 for me, it's 25th or whatever I just said for you. It's just down to how much you're doing in it and stuff. And the overall sort of cross section of this list, it comes out, I think, probably overall the feelings of the band, especially when we get to the top 10, I reckon we're all going to be in fairly much in agreement with it. Let's go with number 12 then. And this one, it probably should have come out higher, really, but at least it didn't come down, with some of the other ones like We Have All the Time in the World, and that is Goldfinger. Kerry, you had this at number 2. No surprise, really, and I think where it should be for your list.
Yeah, it's obviously the first show for me, and you couldn't get a bigger song to sing as your opening song. With that note at the end, and it's the pressure's on for this song, and this is the first song for me, so it's the one I've got to deliver.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, this is the one that I've got to deliver. Because it's the first one for me. But also, it's a great song.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a great song, and I'm surprised it's actually come down at number 12.
Yeah. Well.
I'd like to hear who had it low.
Dan, you had it 19th.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I love the song. The guitar part is just not that exciting. That's all.
Westy, you had it down low as well, 25th for you. I'm surprised for the trombone. It's quite a meaty trombone part in places.
The kind of first few bars are great, those iconic chords. And then we don't really, to be honest, we don't do a great deal other than some long notes through it after that. And it doesn't compare. I don't dislike the song, but compared to a lot of other stuff to play, it doesn't float my boat in quite the same way.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the criteria. But let's just highlight the fact. I mean, it is just the most iconic Bond song. It set the tone. We wouldn't be having this little video if it wasn't for Goldfinger. That's for certain. It really did set the marker down for the series. But there we go. So what have we got next? This one came out really surprisingly high. I can't believe For Your Eyes Only in 11th. Wow, really high. Jez, you had it at 5th.
Oh, right, that's high, isn't it? I really enjoy playing this because
it's your list. It's your list, mate. You picked it.
No, I love playing the synth parts in this.
Yeah,
that sound is just and those little tinkly bits at the top because they're really exposed. You get a buzz playing that, and that happens a few times in the song, and I think it's a really nice song. But for me, there's lots of variety in there because I've got those sounds. I've got some pads.
Yes.
I've got piano. So
you're incredibly busy in this song, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, because for people watching, I mean, really, all of the sounds apart from Kerry and a bit of bass is all coming from your piano, really, isn't it? And this in the opening. That's
right. Yeah, and I think it's probably because I spent a lot of time programming those synth parts that I like any opportunity I get to play them, to use them.
Yeah, they've really nailed the sounds. They really are so accurate. I think when you brought the newer keyboard that you've got now with these sounds, that was just took everything to another level. It really did.
Oh, thanks. It's mostly on a laptop now, so it's all programmed mostly on software.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Someone said, totally understand, we can't see your name, but totally understand why For Your Eyes Only is done well. I mean, I think from our point of view, it's got a bit of everything. It has got a big moment in the chorus, and I think also, Kerry, your performance in it is a really emotional one. I think it takes it to another level. Rob, you had it pretty low though, 24th. I'm not such a fan.
Well, not really. Mainly for the opposite reasons to why Jez really likes it. He's really busy. I'm really not very busy in this. I think I play 2.5 bars. I think I play those 2.5 bars 4 times in this piece. and that's the pure reason, just for me, as a purely selfish, why I don't particularly enjoy playing it, is because there's not enough for me to switch off completely and just watch and enjoy. There's just those little bits, and for me, it's not a very satisfying play. Purely that, it's a lovely song. I mean, listen to it, it's great. And the stuff that Jez is doing, those sounds, because we used to cover those dee-da, dee-da on flute and trumpet, didn't we? And then that came along, it's like, wow, hey, there we go. That's, game changer.
Yeah, so just to expand on that a little bit for anyone not really knowing what you're referring to there. Yeah, so the little iconic fifth from For Your Eyes Only, the doo-doo. Yeah, we used to play that in the brass before we had Jez in the band, and he had all of his amazing sounds and the ability as well with Jez to play several things at once, you know, splitting the keyboard in two and having half a sound on one end of the keyboard and half a sound on the other. So yeah, we were relegated to rest again there, Rob, but it was worth it, really was, because that sound is just so iconic and it is great. Right, we're into top 10, so we'll spend a little bit more time on these top 10, and we'll take questions as they come in. Lee Cornwall, who arranged all your music? It's me. You must be the only person watching that doesn't know that. Top 10 then. Now, how on earth this has come in the top 10 from a Bond fan's point of view, but from a Cue the Music point of view, this is not really a surprise. Another Way to Die. It's a right adrenaline rush to play this live, isn't it? I mean, who had it up high? In fact, we even had somebody voted this number one. One of the bass trombone players, no surprise, had it at number one. I even had it at number 7, along with you, Dan. You had it at 7. Tell us why you'd have Another Way to Die at number 7, because it's not a brilliant song to listen to originally, I don't think, and anybody watching would say the same. But it's great fun to play, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I really dislike the original. I don't like it at all. But the Cue the Music version is almost a totally different song. I love it. The energy's great. The guitar parts are great. It's one of the moments in the show I can not switch off, but go and have let loose a bit rather than being on my pad, which is a nice moment to have.
Yeah, I mean we've made this into a guitar feature, haven't we? And Kerry, you have great fun being able to sort of have almost like a bit of a duo with the guitarist, don't you?
Yeah. It's a bit funny with Dan because he's young enough to be my son. So I have to be like the previous guitarist. It's been a little bit, arms round and a bit flirty on stage, but with Dan it feels a bit wrong to do that. It is a great song to perform and
to play live.
Yeah, and you can let go and the inner rock chick comes out.
Yeah. We've got a comment saying that it's a crap song. Listen, we're not going to disagree with you. The original is a crap song, but we really enjoy playing it. What we do with it, we just completely turn it on its head energy-wise and just really try and take the roof off. In fact, you guys all know this. Quite often before we play this one, I'll turn around and I'll say, right, find another gear, take it up another level. Let's absolutely, let's take everyone's faces off and we just have fun with it. Someone said, I'm going to go quiet for a while out of respect. It's all good. It's all opinions. Everybody's got one. So that's top 10. Okay, what about number 9 then? We've still got some belters to come. And actually, we've still got a few of our ones that aren't actual title songs. But this one I thought would come a little bit higher, considering what a great song it is. And that's Nobody's Better. Jez, you had this at number 2, so you're obviously a huge fan of this. And by the way, of course, it kicks off with you playing utterly brilliantly. In fact, let's just hear a little bit of that before you speak. This is you. And the thing is, I'm going to embarrass you here, but I speak for everybody. You absolutely nail that every single time. It's just class personified. But I'll hand over to you now that I've completely and utterly embarrassed you to speak after that.
What can I say? I think it's a great song. I love Marvin Hamlish. I think he's a great songwriter. But I like the pressure of moments like that. When I'm on my own or I've got something, where you've got to get it right. Because when you're really that exposed, any mistake, people are going to notice. So I kind of thrive off that sort of moment. So there's that side to it, but also I just find it a really good song to kind of dig in, and you can embellish bits and play around with it later on, especially when we do, because it's the closing song of the first half, isn't it? And we kind of extend that outro out, and we've got the little stops in there and all that stuff. I just really like it.
Yeah, I think particularly the last third of this song is a real adrenaline rush, because as you say, we finish the half with it and we get the brass normally out, not in this video, but normally we get the brass out the front, guitar, Kerry, and the audience, it's that first moment where we really connect with the audience at the end of that first half, and it really always leaves that interval going out on a high, and everybody sort of comes back in. I think the second half, we've totally and utterly, I think by that point, won them over. Is that, we're not just here to play the music and just turn in a performance. Like, we are here to bring you into it, and make you part of this. But that said, Kerry, 26th. What?
Did I?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. It should be way higher than that.
Oh, well, there we go.
No, honestly, I love this song. I don't know how it ended up that low.
Oh, well, never mind.
Maybe I'd had a couple of gins by that point when I was doing the list. But no, it should have been a lot higher.
Well, there we go. Good to see Being James Bond. Hey, Joe, he said we've converted him on many crap songs. They can take leftovers and make a gourmet meal. Great quote. That's going on the promotional material.
Where did Dan have this one? Because I love listening to him.
Dan, let me have a look.
That's awesome.
I love this song.
Dan, you had it in 11th. So, yeah, you had it about where it came out. Yeah.
I thought it'd be higher, but yeah, no, I love this song. It kind of got everything. It starts off kind of really nice and chilled, and then by the end, it's absolutely cooking. And yeah, it's very exciting to play. And like you said, on the theatre show, when everyone comes out the front, and yeah, it's just great. Yeah,
I had it actually at 6th. But I have to say, Dan, you're obviously the newest member of the band, just awesome playing in this. It's great. It's so great to have you on board, mate. And that little solo there just sums it up, really. Let's have a look what came in at 8th then. Wow, this one's going to be hilarious. Dirty Love. Steve, you had this at number 1.
This was the top of the tree for me, yeah, very much so. For me, it's very much of my sort of personal area, that kind of mid-80s.
Hang on, Steve, let me just get it playing and I'll just catch the volume and then you can carry on because you're quite low. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's very much of that sort of early to mid-80s rock kind of thing that I've kind of grown up with. And so it's nice from that. It's, from my point of view, I've got things to do. I've got backing vocals in this as well, for example. But also, it's also easy enough that I can just not worry about reading the music. I can just, as I said, sort of sit back and play the song, basically.
Yeah. Who had it down low? Rob, you had it down in 19th.
Yeah, it's again, it just comes down to what I do in it. It's one of those it's a horn section-y tune, which is usually very nice, but for me, there's not enough of the horn section in it for me personally.
Yeah.
I know that's very selfish. It's all about the brass.
No, I had a similar thing. I mean, Dirty Love came out for me in 17th, but I mean, what a great rush it is to play this song, particularly when we did it at Piz Gloria. But even when we done it on other shows and stuff, this one is one that always brings a smile to people's faces, and we always get a great roar at the end of it. I think it's because it's so out of left field. A lot of people either don't know it or definitely aren't expecting it at a James Bond concert, but it's it's just a really sort of joyous piece to play, isn't it? Anybody come in?
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
Bit the reverse of Rob, I guess. We don't play a lot in the horn parts for this, but I quite like this. I really enjoy playing it because what you do play is like bang. There's no fillers in the middle of it. It's just everything. Every single note you've got has got real importance, and I really like that with the horn parts. It's not overwritten. It's great.
Yeah, and look at, I mean, just this memory for those of us who were there for Piz Gloria, the crowd just went nuts for this. It was just amazing. Someone saying, "Dirty love over for your eyes only." No comment. You've got to be. The thing is, whoever made that comment, whoever Great Wooter is, you haven't seen Cue the Music do it live. That's all I'll say. If you've seen us, if you were there in the room at Piz Glory, you'd understand why it's come up, so high, because it was just. I mean, anybody else in Piz Gloria that's watching, like this person, he loved it. I think that might be. I can't see the name, but I'm guessing that's. I don't know, maybe Darren Noble or someone, but I mean, and Joe, you were there. What was the atmosphere like at Piz Gloria when we did this? It was just absolutely electric. It really was. Anyway, let's go on then. So, let me just get rid of that. That was 8th. In 7th, this came up really high. Skyfall. I was surprised. I didn't have Skyfall. Actually, no, I did. I think, what did I have Skyfall in? I had it in 12th, but Kerry, you had it up really high. Actually, probably not much of a surprise. It was number 4 for you. Let me just get it playing and then you can tell us why. So I'll just catch the volume. So, Kerry, number 4 for you.
Yeah, it's it's in the show. It's a hard song because you follow GoldenEye. So you've got this big song, and then you're off stage, and then there's a little bit from the compare, and then you're back on, and you've got to compose yourself to then sing, Skyfall. But it's and it is just piano and vocal at the start as well. So it's and it's not an easy song to sing either. So, but again, it's a great song, and I love performing this song. Wasn't one of my favourites to begin with when we first started doing it, but as the years have gone on, it's one of the top ones for me to perform.
Kerry, it's a real struggle to hear you, to be honest. It's really hard to hear you. Westy, you had it pretty low, 23rd.
I did, yeah. That's not a reflection on what I think of the song. I really like the song. Kerry sings this amazingly.
Yes.
But yeah, selfishly, like our part, we just play semi-breeze for 95% of this, and it's pretty much all the way through. And it's normally at the end of the gig, and this is one of the ones that I'm waiting to turn over on the stand, and I'm dreading turning up because we're hanging on by the end of this. It's a real killer for us.
It is an absolute smack in the face for brass, actually, and I've written loads of really long notes. Really is hard work, but do you know what? For me, one of the things that absolutely makes this so amazing is the bass trombone part and playing of that part by the various bass trombone players. Standing right in front of it, particularly the last chorus. It always gets the hair up on the back of my neck.
Yeah, agreed. When you're out front and performing this, and you've got that noise behind you as well, it really hits you as well. Those back bass trombone lines.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're getting into the real top few now. What have we got left? Number 6. This one was no surprise to see it come up so high. In fact, I had this at number 2, Diamonds Are Forever. Dan, you had it at number 1. Let me just get it playing. Yeah, you did.
I do like it, so that makes sense.
It's an amazing song, this. It's absolutely... I love this song so much. I mean, you obviously must like it. It came up number 1.
Yeah, no, I love it. Like I said, that little part that you just saw, the spacey kind of notes in the intro,
wavy guitar,
funky parts, the wah section. It's got it all for guitar, really.
Yeah.
It's just great.
It's such an iconic song, and it's got so many parts to it. It's got that ridiculously genius riff at the start, the 8 sides of the diamond, and it's such a great hook that John Barry wrote. It's got an amazing chorus, as you say, the funky guitar part. an amazing brass line at the end that goes underneath the chorus. Great lyrics. Everything about it is just absolutely outstanding. Westy, you obviously don't agree that much because you had it down in 22.
22.
Is it that low? Oh,
Yeah, it was.
well, I feel a bit harsh doing that. Yeah, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it with this song. It doesn't float my boat. It just doesn't. It doesn't press my buttons. I've not just with playing it front. I just don't really like it as a song. Sorry, everybody.
That's all right. Where's the eject button on?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I can't kind of put my finger on it. I wasn't a fan of the song before I started playing with the band, and it sadly hasn't changed that much yet.
Yeah, Jez, you had it really high, up in fourth for you.
did. Yeah, I think it's a great song. It's an iconic Bond song. It's got great parts in, like, like you said, this sort of 8-note motif at the beginning, which, it's another one I like playing because I really love the sound, and I like the end of the song. It's really emphatic, powerful ending. Kerry sings it great. It's just I get a real buzz playing this one. So yeah, that's why I've got it really high. I think I did it at 4. Is that?
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
Kerry, I think the trick to this song has always we always sort of had this thing at the start that we weren't going to try and be a traditional tribute band, that you weren't going to try and do a Shirley Bassey. You're going to do a Kerry with a little nod. And I think that's sort of something that was really stuck all the way through, hasn't it? Because you couldn't try and do Shirley Bassey like Shirley Bassey, and it would just be
nobody can try and do Shirley Bassey like Shirley Bassey. But that's, from the outset, when Q Music was formed, we said that we are a tribute to the music of, Bond, and we were never going to try and. I would never try and impersonate any of the artists. There was just a massive nod to all of the artists that recorded these songs, because they're all amazing.
Yeah. Craig Hayward says controversial, but he prefers this to Goldfinger. I actually do as well, Craig. I mean, I love Goldfinger, but Diamonds is of the two. Diamonds is. Goldfinger is probably more iconic, and it certainly set the trend. But I think Diamonds is, for me, is an all round.
Which one did I have higher?
You had Goldfinger second and Diamonds third, so pretty high up.
Very, very close. It's a close call between the two of them.
Yeah. Which apparently, I love this, Graham. Shirley, she hasn't got the range, darling. That sketch is going to live long after Shirley's died, isn't it? Or not the sketch, that clip of her saying that. Brilliant. So we're getting into top 5 territory. So this is the big hitters. This is where it's all happening. Now, this is no surprise to see this in the top 5, because we played it since the very first day that I set Cue the Music up. And it's so much fun to play. And that's Bond 77. And now I have to just say, I know this is top songs and stuff, but like I say, we did this really. I wrote this chart before I'd even finished writing a lot of the other songs, because I just really wanted to do this in the band. And it is so much fun to play. I had it actually in 4th, so pretty high up for me. Jez, what do you think of this one? You must be a fan.
It's great, this one. Yeah, it's just really funky, really fun. Like, there we go. There's that synth sound there. I love
that synth.
It's got that squelchy, like
squelchy
kind of sound, isn't it? Yeah, it's cool. It's great fun. I like the little effects in the background as well. I think they're on the trigger, aren't they? There's a lot of. Listen to what's going on. I think the guitar part's great, really funky. So I like. For me, it's not difficult to play or anything, this one, but it's like really fun just because of the vibe of it. And there's not many other songs that we do regularly that are like this, are they? So it's good to do, get these sort of dose of like 70s funk.
Yeah, the thing that absolutely makes this piece for me, Jez, is that line on the piano, the down, 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 down. If you haven't got that with the squelchy sound, as you say, then you haven't got this piece. You might as well not do it. You've got to have that sound. And actually, when I've had guest keyboard players in for the rare occasions you've not been available, I've probably spent half an hour just going through every sound on the keyboard to find the best option if they didn't have the exact one that you've got. Because it's just so key, isn't it? Yeah,
it's got a sort of particular filter on it, so you get that kind of attack. But it's got, you've got the Bond theme as well in it, haven't you? It's just the way they weave it in with all the chord changes is so clever. So yeah. Love the solos as well.
I have to say, I think probably most people watching this will know, but this is literally a rip-off of You Should Be Dancing by the Bee Gees, and it's not even an accident. Like Marvin Hamlish actually said, I think he even told them he was going to do it. If you don't know that, go on YouTube and put the two side by side. Even this little line is this little brass line we're playing now is actually pretty much in the original. Is it live? Someone's just said yes. This is, well, we're chatting live. The band obviously isn't playing live. We recorded this last year. It's such a great song. What people saying? Somebody said, I thought Bond 77 would be up there. I watched you play this several times. You love it. I do. I absolutely love it. But it wasn't just my choice. I had it up high, but everybody had this one up high. We all enjoy playing this. It's great. Well,
Rob just loves that sax solo as well.
Yeah, Rob, you must enjoy playing that sax solo when you come.
I enjoy playing that sax solo once I've got out the front. I spend most of this tune thinking, now where are we? How long is it going to take me to walk from where I'm stood to in between the two trumpets out the front? Don't trip over anything. Have I taken my ears out? So that's basically what's going through my head. Then when I get out the front, it's like, oh no, I'm playing to a theatre full of people. Usually with my eyes closed, because that's just what I do. But yeah. And then it's walking back and, that was great. Okay. And then we're done. So you don't register that sax solo being quite as big as it is because you're panicking about walking out the front. That's the stupid thing with me. It's, can I walk across the stage without falling over? That's what I'm thinking about.
Try doing it in 6-inch heels, Rob.
Yeah, well, and about 20 times, Kerry. 20 times a gig you've got to walk around and go up and down those steps without falling over.
Oh,
yeah. Well, let's see what's coming top 4 then. Now this one I am pleased to see that now my faith in us has been restored as Bond aficionados, because On Her Majesty's Secret Service has to be up there, and it is, I am pleased to say. Because the James Bond theme was a bit gutting to see it come down so low, but to see Majesty's come up, yeah, my faith in you lot has been restored a little bit. Let me just turn this down. Who had it up high? Steve and Rob, both of you had it in third. Steve, tell us, you got it in third.
Yeah, I've got quite a bit to do on this one. You're about to hear it kick in. You've got that bass line going, and that's pretty much through the entire piece of music. So I've got I've got to have the fingers well warmed up by this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Who else? I say, Rob, you had it up high.
Yeah, it's just, for me, this is more of an iconic Bond theme than the James Bond theme, if that makes sense. For me, this is what the music of Bond is about. It's the fact the bit that's playing right now. Again, it's the trombone thing. I think it's because they're sat right behind me, so you can feel this one, literally feel it boring into the back of your head while you're playing.
Yes.
It's great. It just it's the hairs on the back of your neck standing up. Oh. It's great, and this is the one that I come away from the gig singing in the car on the way home. Yeah. Just that one little bit over and over again in that annoying way, 4 bars round and round and round and round, all the way home from wherever we're playing. But yeah, it's great. It's got everything for me. The sort of the wah-wah trumpet stuff as well. That's an iconic Bond sound for me. That's right there. It's got it all, as far as I'm concerned.
The comments
and the energy
are going...
in the rhythm section as well. That's just spot on.
It is. The comments are going absolutely berserk on this one. Everyone loves this one. Rob, what was this like to do in situ in Piz Gloria when we did it 2 years ago at the Majesty's 50th event? I mean, what an amazing gig that was.
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, from our point of view, playing in this amazing venue, the crowd going absolutely wild for everything. We could have played anything Bond related and they would just gone mental. We played this, loved it. I think this was playing in the cable car, wasn't it, as you went up?
Yeah.
The first thing you hear, as soon as you go that, there it is, we're here, woo! So yeah, it was lovely. And playing it in His Glory was a bit of a slightly more difficult because you're sort of breathing every 3 notes because the air was so thin up there. But it was, once the adrenaline took over and you got over that physicality of playing at altitude, it was, brilliant.
Yeah, it was an amazing night. I'll just let this play out before we reveal top 3. Top 3, we're getting into the real thick end of it now. Now, no, there's not going to be any big surprises in what comes in at number 1. But of the 2 songs we've got left that we haven't revealed yet, number 3, You Know My Name. Great song to play. Dan, you had it at number 3.
Yeah, love this song. It's great. It's full on rock and roll, you know. Loads of energy. I mean, it's Chris Cornell's original. It's great. Our version's great. Yeah, I just love this song.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I saw this at the cinema and I was like, oh, what is this? Like, this is not a Bond song the way that we know it. And I was a bit unsure about it to start with, but actually it's absolutely amazing. And it was because it was so different. It's one of those things, I think, when it's so different, you have to take a moment to adjust to the fact that it's so different. And once you get over that, you can then let it in and appreciate it. And it's just such a brilliant song and goes with such a brilliant film, of course, which helps. Who had it? Jez, you're not such a fan. You've got it at 26th.
Oh, if I was voting on like just what I liked, it would be way higher. But to play, I just don't have. I've got like 45 bars rest in the middle. So I mean, the beginning's I quite like the beginning. So I kind of, when Dan's doing the lead guitar, I'm doing like the sort of power chords on guitar sound underneath that. So that's kind of cool. But and I do some strings at the end. But you know, all in all, I just don't do that much in it. So that's why I haven't put it higher on my list. Like I say, if it was, it's a banging tune, and if it was, if I was voting on, different criteria, it would be way higher.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the thing. And I see the odd comment. Particularly Great Wooter is loving to telling us how much he likes or dislikes our list, but it's it's not, you're looking at it as a Bond fan, like, and I'm with you on that. But this is not what this list is. This is about us playing it, and it keeps coming back to that. So yeah, don't hate us if we don't agree with you, but it is just purely based on playing. I mean, this is definitely one that really it's one of those ones that takes the roof off. And we do this straight away, followed by Another Way to Die, and these 2 songs together towards the end of the gig just really take us up through the gears, don't they, Jez?
Oh, it's great. It's so much energy, and I wanted to vote, put it higher up in my list just because I do actually really like being part of it, being able to just soak up that kind of that vibe on stage is brilliant. But just purely for me, from a playing point of view, there's a lot of other songs that are better to play. But it's a cracking tune.
Steve, what about for you?
Together. Yeah.
How you feel about this one?
Yeah, no, I like this one. Again, I get to exercise my vocal cords on this one, so it's I've got quite a bit to do, as well as sort of chugging away on the bass. I've got to remember lyrics and hit some quite high notes in this one as well.
Yeah, for people watching who don't know, you do a lot of the BVs from, well, probably about 6 or 7 songs altogether in the set, but you sort of add the third part of the harmonies, don't you?
That's right. Yeah. I'm sort of subtly putting in extra notes in the background, basically. So you hear 3 notes in that bit of the chorus, for example, and I'm the lowest of the 3 notes in that one, I think. So it's but yeah, no, I fill in the gaps quite easily.
Kerry, what about for you? It's a duet, another duet with Matt. You must enjoy doing this one.
Oh yeah, I love doing this one. Yeah, it's a great, I echo everything what you said. It's a great track. another one that we can, and it's nice to see Matt as well, like let go a bit in this one as well, you know. And we, you know, to sing, you know, I've said before what I think of Matt and as a talent and his vocals. I think he's got a great voice. And I think he does these songs justice. So to see him as well, let go on this one is great. And it's a pleasure to stand next to him and perform with him.
Yeah. Number 2, Live and Let Die. And I think everyone's going to know what number 1 is, and we'll get there in a minute. But Live and Let Die, Jez, you had this at number 3, pretty high up.
Yeah, quite rightly too. So I think it's a great song. It's great fun to play. It's kind of, for me, it's got a bit of everything. So the intro, obviously, just with the vocals, is nice because you can get a bit of the scope for like expression and sort of, more subtle musicality in there. And then you've got the other sections, which are obviously really energetic and a bit more challenge to play, actually, what's going on there. To be 100% accurate is not easy on most bits, so I enjoy that challenge.
Yeah.
It's got that funky middle section, so the band sounds great, so for me it's got everything. This one, great song.
It really is such a great song. I mean, I love playing this. It is a real adrenaline rush. It's a challenge to play because of the tempo changes and things, and that's one of the things that we probably need to just run through every time we do sound checks, just to check that everyone's on the same page with the changes. But once everyone's on, it's just a great fun to play. Westy, not so much for you though. You had it down in 20th.
Did I? Oh.
Yes, it's your list. Everyone's so surprised. It's your list.
Well, I don't dislike it that much. It's not one of my absolute favourites to play, but I don't dislike playing it. I'm not quite sure why it's come out quite that low. It's good. It's quite good fun. It's not one of my favourite songs. The chopping and changing the tempo, and I always kind of feel that it never develops that tune from the start quite enough for me. But no, I think 20th is a bit harsh. Apologies.
Well, that's all right. There's some people here, like Lee here, he never really liked it that much, but that's okay. Like, Bond songs are just the great thing about Bond songs. There's just so many different opinions with them. One person's love is another one's hate, and I'm not really sure there's another catalogue that can have such extreme opinions. I mean, literally with every single song that we've done so far, I mean, just to quickly give you a couple of examples. View to a Kill peaked at 3, was as low as 27th. You Only Live Twice peaked at 4, was as low as 28th. Man with the Golden Gun was first for one person, 28th for another. GoldenEye, 4th for one person, 27th for another. Tomorrow Never Dies, 2nd for one person, 28th for another. These songs really do vary from person to person. And we'll just let this play out before we reveal number 1, which I think everyone knows. Darren, I tell you what, if we were including Make It Last All Night, I think it would probably come up quite high, because that was good fun when we recorded it last year. But let's reveal number 1. It's not really going to shock anyone to know that our favourite song to perform is the one and only License to Kill, and it wasn't even close. I mean, everything between 2nd and 28th was close, but this was just miles out. So myself, Kerry and Jez, we all had this at number 1, as did quite a few people out of the 20 of us. Kerry, number 1 for you? I mean, it can't have even been close, was it?
No, it's a standout number 1 for me to perform this song. It does something to me every time.
Yeah.
I get very emotional singing it.
Yeah.
It's just got everything. The band behind me are just fantastic each and every time they play it. It builds and builds and builds. And it just
Tell Smiley to quieten down with the washing up, will you? We can hear him.
I'm upstairs.
Are you? Who's
Yeah,
doing
it's
the
not
washing
me,
up?
is it?
Someone sounds like someone's washing up.
That's not in my house.
I don't know where it's coming from.
We've got a dishwasher. Definitely, and it definitely wouldn't be my husband washing up.
Joe, you can't really
yeah.
be shocked that License came out number 1, surely. I can't believe anyone's going to be shocked that License was number 1. Jez, you had it at number 1 as well.
Yeah, well, for me, it's great to play because there's loads going on the keyboards. It's a very keyboard-based kind of song. There's some really challenging bits to play, in which I was like this little run, so it's just coming up. There we are. Which is
you smashed
I mean,
it.
Mega Jez. That's
I kind of like, again, it's another thing I like the challenge of it. And I've always liked this song. I always loved it when I first heard that Gladys Knight sing it, when I was younger, and I always wanted to play it, and now I think that's it's such a buzz. I love the reaction we get off this one with the audience. It just lifts the roof.
It's amazing. I mean, the reaction we did when we did the West End in London, 1,000 people or something in there. I mean, Kerry, what was that like? The chills when everyone went nuts at the end. It was just unbelievable.
Amazing. And it is. It does. You feel the audience. You've got them at this point. You look out and you've got them, and they're on this journey with you, and you get to that. You get to the end, and it just takes the roof off every time. And that's not. That's everybody, every single person on that stage. Just. We all feel it, and we all, just a great song.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't put it into words, but you guys know that,
Can't really hear you, Kerry. Number 2, we had Steve, Dan, Westy, all of you guys had it in number 2, and even Rob, you had it in 7th. But I mean, who else hadn't spoken? Westy, you a big fan of it?
Yeah, massive. I think my number 1 was My Name, but it could have been either way for me. But those two kind of stand out as clear favourites to play. A bit of everything in it. They're hard work physically to play, but you can't stop yourself giving it 100% every time you play it.
Yeah.
They're addictive to play, and this song particularly for that's great. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, what do you feel? I mean, what's it like being on stage when Kerry does this song? It's something else, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously, it just lifts the roof, doesn't it? It's phenomenal. Look at it. Just listen to it. Just take a moment. There, that bit, just that. That, just a little hiatus, and then smashed it. It's just exactly right for me. Just every single time. Gosh, that moment is just enough tension, not too much, and there it is. Yeah. And also, I'm not doing a great deal in this one. So it's the one that I really enjoy sitting there listening to while you guys are, really going for it. So, great tune.
Yeah. I think there's a few questions coming in about the original and why the original maybe doesn't capture the imaginations of the Bond fans as much as what we're say with playing it live. But I think it's just one of those songs that just goes up another level when it's played live. And I have to say, it's not even exclusive to us. I said this with the Cue the Music patrons last night. I was doing something with those guys, a live stream with them, and we were sort of chatting about this. If you go and see any Bond concert with the orchestras in London or anyone else, License to Kill is always the one that takes the roof off. Here's a question from Joe to the floor. What songs do you guys enjoy playing solely because of the good audience reaction? I mean, so the question, I suppose, Joe, is what you're asking is, putting aside our enjoyment of the music, which one? I don't really know the question, if I'm getting the question right, but I mean, I think from an audience reaction point of view, it is License to Kill. I mean, the chills when the place just erupts. I mean, then it's all down to Kerry's performance. There's no question about it. It's funny, Steve, because you and I, not a falling out, but a disagreement on opinions with backing vocals, in that you always wanted to stick the backing vocals in the second half of this song, and I was like, no. This song is all about Kerry. We get out of her way and let her do her thing. And once we kind of set that marker, I think it was the right thing to do, because that's the moment where Kerry really gets to do her thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I still get away with a little bit. I go nuts on the bass at the end of that. So it's
you do shovel a lot of bass notes in there.
Yeah, fortunately you don't pay me by the note, so it's all good.
Yeah. Someone's asked, do you ever have any of John Barry's family contact you? No, we don't, Lee, I'm afraid. Yeah, unfortunately not. So that's about it, really. I will just hang on for a couple of seconds if anyone's got any questions they want to ask us, just to wrap up with. Otherwise, we've hit our top songs. I mean, what do we feel generally about that list? Has it sort of come out how you expected? I'll start with you, Westy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I'd expect across the band, and I think most of the differing opinions were purely based on how much we're actually playing as individuals. So often a lot of the ones that maybe Kerry really enjoys singing, or the rhythm section really like, as horn players we're kind of just bit part players if we're playing at all, and then other times we've got some really interesting stuff to play and the rhythm section and not doing very much at all, or it's just very repetitive. So there's always going to be a real contrast and you're going to end up with some at 4 and some at 28. So it's a good list.
Steve, what do you think? Do you think the list came out roughly where you would expect it to as a cross section of the band?
Yeah, it's roughly what Nick just said, but it seems to be that the band it tends to be biased a bit more towards the modern stuff, the later ones, the more rocky, I think.
Yeah.
The ones you would imagine are sort of more energetic. I think that's probably it, really. The more energy that the original song has, it converts into our adrenaline, and it means we get more from it. And I think that's probably what's made the difference for us here.
Yeah. Whoever's putting up a shed.
Not my house.
Someone's putting up a shed. Jez, what about you? How do you think that list comes out?
Yeah, I think it's probably what the other guys have said already. Only thing I'd add is that I like playing all of the songs, really. I think we're lucky that there's such great variety there, and you can enjoy all the different moments, in different moods, in the different places they take you in different ways. So it's so hard to rank anything like this. But I think overall I can understand why it's turned out like it has, and I think it probably is a fair reflection of
how we feel.
How we feel. Yeah.
Kerry?
Yeah, agreed. I totally agree with Jez, and it's really interesting actually to hear everybody's opinions, because we don't really get, we do these shows, but we don't really kind of get chance to sit and socialise and digress and go through and chat about the songs and how we feel about them. So to actually sit like this and see this list and hear everybody's favourite songs is really interesting. And I completely not overly surprised by the list.
Yeah.
So no, yeah.
Rob, what about you?
It's been interesting sort of listening to all those versions. I did a little bit of homework before this because I'm not, don't hate me, the biggest James Bond fan. So there's quite a lot of these tunes that I hadn't actually heard prior to playing with the band. So my first experience of a lot of these tunes is from playing it in the Cue the Music version. So I did a little bit of listening to the originals. And to be honest, the Cue the Music versions I think are a lot better. And I'm not just saying that, boss, but it's just there's just listening to they're not subtle changes, like just the addition of the brass in most of the tunes just makes it a lot bigger, doesn't it? The one that got me, my favorite one, The Man with the Golden Gun, just listening to the original version, I definitely wouldn't have put that anywhere near as high if I hadn't played our version. It was just very interesting to me to compare and contrast the two.
Dan, what about you? You're the newest member of the band and the youngest member of the band. Actually, younger than the band. I mean, there are only about 4 songs that were written when you were born. So, how did you feel about this list?
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with Rob. I'm not the big. Well, I like the films that I've seen, but I haven't seen all the films. So
we're gonna have to work on that.
When I was learning, when I was learning the show, I was listening to the Q versions. So, I mean, I got the vibes from that rather than the originals. But with regards to the list, I mean, most of it's how I expected. There's a few oddballs in there.
Yeah.
But like we've all said, it's all down to what parts we have. And like I think Nick was saying, when the brass have got like a heavy part or something, the rhythm section might not be. It's very, apart from maybe License to Kill, it's very rare that everyone has got a massive part to play in the song.
Yeah, that's true. Which is probably why Another Way to Die came out so high, because everybody does actually in that, really.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions before we finish. Just one, probably both really ones for me about the band. But are we going to be touring live across the UK again soon? I saw a few dates for the end of the year, wondering for 2022 onwards. Well, let's hope. We very much want to be back in 2022. We've got 2 dates at the end of this year. And we'll just have to see how everything kind of pans out with everything with COVID for next year. And hopefully we'll be back. Goodness knows we all want to be out there, don't we? Hey, it's been a long 18 months for us. It really has. And one other question I saw. This is a nice one. Tim Hans, have you ever had any previous Bond theme song artists contact you after discovering Cue the Music? No, but here's our website address. No, we have. We've had a few. We have had a few. I won't mention what people have said so publicly because it's a little bit indelicate. You know, they were private comments. But there is a really nice David Arnold one that you can look up on the Bond Experiences channel. He said some really lovely things about Cue the Music. So go and have a look on YouTube for David Arnold interview with the Bond Experience. And yeah, he had about 2 minutes of comments about us, which was absolutely just bowled us all over last year. We were absolutely over the moon with that. So there we go, folks. We're going to say goodbye and cheerio, and thank you to all of you guys for joining me tonight and for making it fun. And I hope that everyone watching hasn't been too upset by our list. It is all just opinion. It's all for fun, and it is all about our enjoyment of playing it over everything else. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye.